Welcome to r/EntitledParents, where this horrific woman forces her sister to take her kids with her to Disneyland Paris. Now look, that's bad enough, but what makes it even worse is that the sister knows that OP is planning to secretly propose to her girlfriend while she is at Disneyland. Yet she doesn't care, she still demands that she takes her children. Entitled sister demands I take her children to Disney with me and my girlfriend, despite knowing it's a secret proposal trip. I am a 31-year-old woman, and my girlfriend and I are planning a trip to Disneyland Paris. Not for any time soon with the pandemic, but we're still planning. It's not as big as, say, Florida, but it's closer to us, and it's also both our first time going. And as my girlfriend is obsessed with Disney, it's where I'm planning to propose to her to make it more special. My sister knows I'm proposing, as she helped me pick out the ring, and she was very supportive, until she found out where I was planning to propose. She doesn't approve of it, as we're not kids, and has stated that as we're not children, it's weird, and how if I wanted to go there, I should take her kids, who are 10 and 6. Now, I love my niece and nephew, but this is a special trip for me and my girlfriend. I explained this to my sister, and I thought she understood. But next time I was overseeing her kids, they were upset as she had told them about the Disney trip, and they couldn't understand why I wouldn't take them. I tried to console them, but I felt very put on the spot and upset by this. I ended up leaving not long after, and my sister keeps badgering me to take the kids now, as they're so upset. The worst part is my girlfriend has now started to feel guilty and is wondering if we should just take the kids with us. Oh, what a start to the episode. Imagine purposefully ruining your sister's proposal. That is horrible. I mean, that in isolation is bad enough, but then on top of that, manipulating your sister and her girlfriend, who has no idea what is planned, into taking your kids with them on holiday. Oh, horrible person. Let's move on. Now for our second story, my mother cares more about money. I got a snake just over a year ago, and I love him dearly. He is adorable. Recently, he's been quite sick, so my dad and I, took him to the vets. It turns out that he has a life-threatening infection that doesn't have a treatment that's guaranteed to work. Now, this was not due to my husbandry, but he did have it when we got him. It only showed now. We came back home, and my mother walks into my room and asks about the visit. I tell her everything, including the infection. She isn't that close to the snake, as it's mine, but as soon as I finish, she keeps hounding me about how much the visit costs. This went on for some time. I told her I don't know how much it costs because my dad paid for it, so she went to him. She found out and came back up and started getting mad that it cost that much. I just found out my snake has a high chance of dying. She's been snappy with me and has made jokes and comments about it too. I just needed to get this off my chest. It's driving me insane. Now, if you've been around on my channel for a while now, you'll know that I have a snake myself, Marty, a little corn snake. I'll chuck him up on screen right now. This is actually from a year ago. I do look quite different. Marty looks the same, I'll be honest. I look a little bit different, but anyway, yeah. If he had an illness, and by the way, he has had some issues, with his eyes, for example, throughout the years. He's quite old now. We would definitely take him to the vet, and we'd definitely pay the money to sort him out. And nobody would complain about spending too much on your pet. It's so weird. I mean, look, anyone with a pet, you guys watching right now, I assume a lot of you have pets. You know just how much they can mean to you, and if there's an issue with them, you're gonna go and sort it. Honestly, even if it's really expensive, you're gonna do it. It just makes sense. It's human, right? So to have this sort of reaction to spending too much money on your pet is really strange. And now moving on to our third story of today's episode. This one, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty epic. Entitled Mum tried to walk off with my mum's Christmas gifts, injured me, and then claimed I stole her items. I honestly can't believe that this just happened, but here we go. I was online shopping this morning when I saw these gorgeous outdoor Christmas lights at really great prices at a local store. My mother loves Christmas, but she's never had the money or time to put any lights up, but she longed to have some. I decided that, as an early Christmas present, I would get her some that she could be proud of. I purchased some great deals online, like some light-up reindeer, her favourites, some colourful string lights with the colours red, green, white, blue and purple, a snowflake-shaped light, and some light-up candy canes for her candy cane lane. I ordered them, paid with my credit card, and was actually able to pick them up in store same day. All for less than $100, a total steal. When I get there, I see there's a long line at customer services, so I decided to browse for a bit. I ended up getting a super great deal on a pair of dripping icicle lights, the buy one get one free deal. I then added a strand of light up garland so she could decorate inside with more than just the tree. I know it's a lot, but I made good money from doing remote lab work at my university. And since I had more than enough saved up for tuition, I decided to spoil my family after such a rotten year. What I got from my siblings, dad and grandparents are not related to this event. So I go, pay, and sure enough, the line at customer service is a lot shorter. I get in line, wait maybe 20 minutes, and when I'm at the counter, I presented my email proving proof of purchase, but it takes a bit for her to scan the QR code, as the device is apparently not reading it. I got no problem with that, because hey, things happen, when suddenly my own cart is slammed into my side. See, what I did was put myself between my cart and the exit. I've read one too many horror stories of people just running off with others' purchases, and I wanted to play it safe. And it kind of worked. Except for the fact that I'm now in a lot of pain because my own cart was rammed right into my hip bone and knee, knocking me over to the floor and nearly making me whack my head. And the crazy lady who did that then tried to push my own cart over me, all while screaming, I kid you not, "You stupid little thief!" This lady was literally trying to sell that I stole her cart. Needless to say, I'm super annoyed and super in pain. Security is called, I'm screaming at the lady to stop lying and give me back my cart, and then I ended up detained. Why? Sadly, she was black and I was Caucasian in a time of all this racism craziness. Now, before you start on the whole "you're racist" stuff, I'm not. I couldn't care less if that lady was an alien or had purple skin or was the Queen of England herself. I treat others how they treat me, and she was stealing my gifts from my mother and claiming that I was the thief. Angry, I then twisted out of the security guy's hold, ripped the receipt out of my pocket, and shoved it in his face. "I have the receipt, you idiots!" He's startled, steps back and stares at the receipt, and I snap at him that he needs to get a pair of glasses because skin color or not, I've got the receipt, that female dog doesn't. Now call me a dang ambulance because I can't take the bus home from how in pain my body was from being rammed by my own cars. An older security guard, a manager, and the head honcho supervisor came over, and the older guard started berating the younger guy for jumping to conclusions, again apparently. The manager checks my receipt and sure enough it's all mine, and the crazy lady of course has no receipts. But then of course, the lady starts wailing about how I must have stolen my receipts, only to have it pointed out that I'd used my points card for that store, which was on the receipt, and they could match that to my ID. They also obviously had CCTV of me with all my items, buying them, and then her coming along, grabbing them, and ramming me with my own carts. I then have to sit there on a bench with all my items. The customer service girl who struggled to get the QR code to scan returned my phone to me. I dropped it on the counter when I was hit, and I started placing my items I had bought online into the cart, which had now been returned to me, while the crazy lady was detained. Police and EMTs arrived not long after. The store actually wasn't that far from a hospital or the police station, and after the EMTs loaded me onto a stretcher, my ankle was badly twisted from being knocked over, and of course I wanted to go to the hospital to be safe. I give my statement, press charges, before turning to the supervisor as he comes over. He's very apologetic and asks if I want anything from the store for free as compensation for this disaster. I told him that all I wanted was for A, the idiot security guard to either be rigorously retrained in thinking for once or be fired, B, that I wanted them to hold on to my purchases until I could come back to pick them up, and C, that crazy lady who was now screaming, "You'll hear from my son, he's a lawyer," which is how I know she's an entitled mum, be perma-banned from their entire chain, because who knows if she's gotten away with it before or would do it again. The super agreed that it was more than fair. The security guy who detained me improperly looked horrified, and apparently the crazy lady heard that and went deathly pale before she fainted right then and there. I'm now sitting in a hospital bed, my ankle in a cast, the bones cracked, my left hip and knee in pain, my right elbow bruised, and having to call my grandparents to pick me up because my family only has 2 cars and my sister and dad are both at work, hence why I took the bus. I'm so angry, it's not even funny. And typing this out on my phone, I don't care about spelling errors. What happened to me isn't right, no matter the skin color, and I'm going to be pressing charges. And I'm in Canada, so I can't make her pay my medical bills as it's covered by the provincial plan. Yeah, OP, you definitely want to be pressing charges on this one. That's assault right there, ladies and gents. Plain and simple, get some compensation. Surely though, this store should have given you all your stuff that you'd bought online for free, right? As in that was like the least they could do. Like, you know, at the end, when the manager says, do you want anything for compensation? Why doesn't he just give you all the stuff that you bought online and the stuff you have in store for free? That's like an easy thing to do. Didn't do it? You didn't really demand it? Fair enough. I mean, I don't blame you for not demanding it. You had to go to hospital. He surely should have just given it to you straight away though, right? As for the woman, this sort of thing, I don't think would ever happen in the UK. Someone buying stuff at a store and then someone else in line immediately picking up and running with it. I've never heard of that happening. Like, even when you were saying about you having to position your shopping cart between you and the exit, that is never something I would even consider doing. I don't think anyone does that in the UK. It's weird. Guys, in America, you watching right now, do you do that? Or is that just something that OP does and has said it's normal? It's interesting. Never heard of it before. Let me know. Sorry, by America, I mean America and Canada. Completely forgot this story happens in Canada. So yes, Americans, Canadians, let me know. Is this a Northern American thing or is this just a thing that everyone does and I don't do? Educate me, please. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/EntitledParents. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did and you want more from this subreddit straight away, well, check out this movie that I made. It's over 2.5 hours long and it's got exclusively Entitled Parents stories in it. In fact, it has the very best stories from the entirety of this year. If you want to sit back, relax, and just enjoy some Entitled Parent stories without having to click through lots of videos, whack that on. You'll love it, trust me.